Right then, coming in at number 1 on the super rare animals that are in the UK that you didn't know about is going to be the... Alright everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome along back to a brand new video, and today we're out and about, but I'm here to tell you about 5 super rare animals in the UK that I want to find. Now the reason I'm out and about today is because a few days ago I was down here walking my dog, and all of a sudden I saw something swimming in the river. It could have been anything. Could have been a swan, a duck, or a fish, whatever. What startled me about this was it looked like an otter, except this otter looking thing was jet black. And jet black looking otters are extremely rare, if they even exist at all. So it was probably an American mink. So that's why I'm down here today having a look. Also, I'm wearing my Animal Anomalies sweater today. If you want to get one of those, stocks are limited, but it's on the wildlifewithcookie.co.uk website. Go over there, check that out, get yourself a little bit of cookie merch, support the channel, all that sort of fun stuff. Right, well, firstly, there's a buzzard nearby making an absolute racket. I wonder if you guys can hear this. There he is. I can't see it, but I can definitely hear it. There he is again. Oh, here he is, flying through the trees. You might get this. Just coming past the trees. 3, 2, 1. There he is. Beautiful buzzard. Probably didn't see it very well on this, but that's cool, just a buzzard flying through. Alright, look at this. We've got the buzzard sat at the top of that dead tree, and we've got it filmed. Ah, he's just taken flight. I mean, I only got like a few seconds of footage, but yeah, really cool seeing that buzzard fly off. That's 2, that's not the first one we saw, that's the second one. You can see this dead tree here, there's a few dead trees that go along here. I think they basically jump between each one. So we got lucky seeing that one just perched up there. As I walk down that way a bit later, I'll try and get that again. But yeah, really cool, good start, little buzzard. So seeing that buzzard was really cool, and it's now gonna segue into the first animal that is super rare in the UK that I want to find. And coming in at number 5 is going to be the osprey. Now, ospreys are absolutely wicked, proper sick class birds. So ospreys in the UK are quite a rare thing. It's thought that there are less than 1,000 in the UK every year, and it's probably even less than that, although the population is going upwards, which is really cool. Now, they were extinct in the UK in the early 20th century, and I think in England the mid to late 19th century. They managed to like reintroduce themselves back to the country, so they were still coming over being like, all right, what's going on? But no one was nesting, and it took like 30-40 years until in Scotland, a place called Lochgarten, they decided to start nesting again, and they have nested ever since in that area. And then the population has expanded. There has been also like reintroduction projects for the osprey in the UK as well, in like the Lake District. Rutland Water's got a few ospreys as well, and I just think it's such a wicked bird, like proper cool bird of prey that eats fish. Sick. Now, I say I want to find this, right, and it's a really cool bird of prey. I actually have already found it. Now, if you guys are regulars to the channel and you saw my wallaby video recently in Scotland, we actually did see an osprey there. It was completely not expected. It was one of those things where we'd gone for the wallabies, and then we heard this osprey and we were like, hold on, what's that? And then as we got to the island, there it was, an osprey. But I do want to do something proper for it. I do want to go and see these big ospreys hunting and doing their natural stuff and get good footage, good close-up footage of them. So that's going to be number 5 on my list. Ospreys were extinct, now back in the UK. I want to film them. You might be able to hear just behind me here, there are a few long-tailed tits sort of bopping in and out of these branches here. It's very hard to film with a long lens like this. but I'm trying. Yeah, wonderful little birds. They're really, really lovely, aren't they? Such dinky little things, but they've got such cute faces. Really like them. So as we carry on the walk, looking for wildlife, seeing a few different things, I'm actually going to head over to an old favourite. The world's worst bird hide. We upgraded it from the worst bird hide in Britain to worldwide. Like, it is truly that bad. So here's what you're supposed to be able to see. Swans, ducks, shovelers, tufted ducks, herons, reed warblers, kingfishers, bullfinches as well. But as we walk on through, can't flipping see anything. What is the point? Can't even see the bloody pond. What's the point in this, eh? Rubbish. And as we move on, might as well talk about number 4 on my list of super rare animals in the UK that I want to film. And this one would live in something like this. So in the UK, believe it or not, we have stick insects, which is really weird, but that's going to be number 4 on my list. Stick insects. Now, they came over and they live in stuff like this. We've got 3 species of stick insect. They've come from New Zealand, which is really weird, but they came over on ships, part of like plants and stuff. And obviously being a stick looking insect, it managed to claw itself to some of these things as they came over from New Zealand, and they've colonised Cornwall, which is really quite bizarre, but something high on my list and that I want to film. 3 species, all look like this. So there could be one in there right now. No, there can't be, because it's not Cornwall. That's quite heavily used by animals, and in the future I'm going to come out here at night and see what I can find, because there's bound to be foxes, badgers and muntjac roaming around here at night, and maybe there are other things as well that we can find. Now, a company have sent me some night vision binoculars, which sounds really cool. So going to give that a go in the future, so make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe so you can see that, and also like this video, and we'll get on to number 3 in a minute. Alright, no signs of muntjac unfortunately, but that now brings us on to number 3 on this list of super rare animals in the UK that I want to find. And the next one has got to do with something like this. Big swampy mud pile. Nice. So animal number 3 is going to be terrapins, or turtles, whatever you want to call them. I just go with freshwater turtles because that's easier to the standard person, right? So freshwater turtles are in the UK, and it's a weird one that sort of originated with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back in, was it the 80s or the 90s? Anyway, there's a big craze when this TV show came out, and people had turtles, they got turtles, and then decided, do you know what, just chuck them, send them free, get them out, we don't want them anymore. So people went to their local like ponds, local lakes, reservoirs, canals, river systems, anything like that, anything that involved water, and they let their little turtle friend go into one of these, and they've been here ever since. And there's quite a lot of them actually in your local sort of pond or anything like that. You may stumble upon some turtles having a little bask. So when it's nice and sunny, they'll come out onto land, they'll just chill there, and they'll be like, yeah, this is quite nice, this, and just enjoy themselves. I would love to film some, and hopefully it's an animal anomalies at some point going forward. Now the species, there are like different ones because you can own them as pets. There are like yellow-bellied sliders, like red-eared sliders, but there is also the European pond turtle. Now that is a native animal that's extinct. So there was actually turtles native to the United Kingdom about 10,000 years ago. It was quite a long time ago, but it's still really cool to think about that. And even some of them have been spotted out and about in like the Norfolk Broads and something like that. So if you ever see one of them, that is rare. Oh, check this out. I've got this absolutely stunning butterfly on these blackberries right in front of me. It's a proper vibrant orange with like a bit of black and like a lighter coloured orange, shades of orange. It's stunning. That buzzard's right there. But they sort of do this, they just sort of fly over like, hello, I'm here. And then you don't have a chance to actually like try and film them. He's flying off away Or is he? He's circling. Here we go. You might be able to see him now. Yeah, look, it's coming straight over. Go on, son. Look, I love seeing them, but they are so hard to try and film. Right, well, there we go. We've got a bit more of a steady buzzard sat in that dead tree. Now, it is quite far away, and I could get closer, which I think is what I'm going to do. Now, I came here for the mink and to tell you about some animals, but buzzard action has taken over. Yeah, I might go over that way, but before I do that, let's tell you about the second animal. And this one is a little slithery, sneaky snake. This one is the Asclepian snake. So we've got 3 native species of snake in the UK. We've got the grass snake, we've got the smooth snake, and we've got the adder. Now, they're 3 natives. One of them's venomous, which is the adder. We've got the grass snake, which hangs around rivers like this, and I've seen in this area before. The smooth snake, which is the rarest snake, or probably one of the rarest snakes in this country. You can only find it in like Devon and Dorset. Down on the coast, it is very rare. It's quite small as well. But also, we have got the Asclepian snake, which is a non-native snake. It might have been here a thousand years ago, but now it's classed as a non-native. It's a rat snake, so it eats rats and all that. And it's arboreal, which means it will climb stuff like this. It's a snake that climbs trees. How cool is that? The Asclepian snake is a really interesting thing. It's like an olive coloured snake, beautiful looking. Recently I went to Celtic Reptile and Amphibian, and they talked about the Asclepian snakes, and I got a chance to hold one there, and it was wicked. We've got a few in this country in a few places, North Wales and South Wales, around a couple of zoos I think, and we've also got them in London on the Regent's Canal, which is really interesting. And hopefully going forward I'll be able to get down there and try to locate some of these Asclepian snakes. They're reportedly next to London Zoo on the Regent's Canal, so yeah, could be really interesting. Trying to find some Asclepian snakes, a non-native snake right in the centre of London. How weird would that be? Anyway, let's go find these buzzards, see if we can get a better image. But better than that, let's move on to number 1. And of course, knowing my luck, the buzzard has left the dead tree. Why have you done that, Mr. Buzzard? Right then, coming in at number 1 on the super rare animals that are in the UK that you didn't know about that I want to film is going to be the capercaillie. Yes, the capercaillie. Now, this is a real interesting one. It's basically the UK's equivalent of a turkey. Now, it's a really cool sounding thing. It sort of sounds like this. How cool was that? Really weird, sounding like a pig, but also making these like popping sounds. Really cool, really interesting. But they're in a mad decline in this country, like really, really bad. So we're talking like 5 years ago, it was thought there was about 2,000 of them. Now, it's thought that there could be under 1,000 of them left in the United Kingdom. And that's a real shame. There's a real threat of this bird going extinct within the next like 10 to 20 years or something. It's really weird to think about. It's declining absolutely rapidly. So the capercaillie was actually made extinct in the mid 18th or 19th century. I can't remember that off the top of my head. It's one of the two. But it was then reintroduced into the country 100 years later, because it is found in Europe as well, in Nordic countries like Sweden, Norway, etc, etc. I can hear that buzzard again, he's over there. Since it's been put back, it's gone like this, population wise, and then like that, just straight off a cliff. Now, the first time it went extinct was because of habitat loss. It lost its like native woodland in big numbers, and it was a problem for the bird. And the same thing is happening now. It just can't compete in today's landscape, and it's just plummeting. It can't breed properly, and it's dying out again, which is really sad. But I want to go up to Scotland to find them, and the best chance to do this would be in the Cairngorms National Park. It's definitely something on my bucket list. It's number 1 on this list for sure, and hopefully in the future I'll be able to do this. And hold on, that buzzard is back. That's number 1, capercaillie. Let's see this buzzard, shall we? Look at that, the buzzard right there on that dead tree in the distance. It's still so cool to see, beautiful colours on it as well, but it looks wicked. And I think that's going to be where we end it in today's video. We've gone through the 5 super rare animals of the UK. that you didn't know about that I would find, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. What do you think about the list? Does it sound like a pretty cool list? What would you add to the list? I suppose we could put American mink on it as well. But anyway, if you want one of these, head to the links in the description down below, wildlifewithcookie.co.uk, snag yourself one of them, support the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Buzzards and that. See you later.